Hello, everyone, and thank you and welcome to SKU Ninja plus White Spider's Roadmap to Success webinar. You can ask questions during the webinar at any time using the Q&A button below. We are recording this webinar and we will send a link to you once it is done. This webinar is confidential, so we ask you don't share anything from this we ask you don't share anything from this webinar outside of your organization. All right, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about White Spider. So, SKU Ninja plus White Spider has been in business for over a decade. We have never taken outside investment. In fact, we started the company with $850. We are headquartered in Northwest Arkansas, and like many of you know, so is Walmart. We are your online search and conversion experts. And if you don't believe us, stay tuned because you will by the end of this thing. So we are also a founding member of the Walmart CCP program, which began in 2015. We have connections to Walmart APIs and people, and we are your partners for search, rich media, quality scores, and style guides. We also have on-site personnel to ensure that you get Walmart success. All right, and now I'm going to introduce you to our speaker, Ryan Monaghan. Ryan is our VP of Insights and Strategy. Ryan's background is focused on analytics and guidance, with 10 years of experience in Walmart and Sam's Club. The roles have included category advisor, national account manager, and business analyst. All right, Ryan, I'm going to make you the host and you can take it away.
All right, hello everyone, and thank you, Brooke. I appreciate everyone's time today. Welcome to the SKU Ninja and White Spider Journey to Search Success webinar. As Brooke mentioned, I spent 10 years in the supplier community, and as recently as about 6 months ago, I was sitting in your shoes. I was responsible for an in-store sales budget. I was trying to keep my buyer happy. I was balancing a trade budget and trying to learn e-com principles and best practices kind of on the side. And since coming to SKU Ninja White Spider, I have learned a ton, and it is a journey. It's a whole new universe of different metrics and different ways to look at things. And I've learned a ton in the past 4 months that I've been here, and I'm excited to share some of that with you today. So we're going to go through a couple slides, and then we will hop onto the website, and I'll take you through the tools in a live demo fashion. And then at the end, we'll have some time for Q&A. So looking forward to engaging with a few of you. So. Everyone's trying to win on Walmart and Walmart.com and OGP. And I think we've all randomly punched in our brand name or a keyword that we think is important to our category on Walmart.com or the OGP site. And depending on where your products rank, you're either A, mad that your top item isn't in the top of search results, B, pleasantly surprised that your items are ranked a little bit better in search than they are from an in-store perspective, or C, you're just exasperated that you can't find your items on the site. And what I'll tell you is no, the algorithm isn't broken. It doesn't like or dislike your items. It's just doing its job. The algorithm that governs these search results is a robot. It's a piece of code that has been written by humans, but once it's set forth on the website, it is just there to do its job. It's programmed to gather a few key pieces of information about every single product in the Walmart ecosystem, make a calculation based on that information, and then determine a search rank score for those products. And then from there, all it does is spit out that grid and it ranked in a descending order for the shopper to view. So we here at White Spider have a wealth of information on which metrics are most important to determining your search rank. And we've developed a suite of tools to help you optimize your portfolio for search. Those suite of tools are represented here in this roadmap, and we'll dive into each one of them individually. So it starts with our Walmart Search Boost product. Every PDP, every single PDP on Walmart.com is assigned a quality score on a scale of 1 to 100. Through our tool, you can monitor your item's score's progress over time and get actionable recommendations on how to improve that score. Quality scores are really important because they measure how discoverable your item is on Walmart.com. And discoverability is really the first step on the road to search success. The next step is optimization. So if I gave you 3 chances, I bet you could guess the top keyword in your category. But do you know how valuable that keyword is relative to all the other keywords that could possibly lead a consumer to your PDP? Well, our priority keyword lists not only identify the most valuable non-branded keywords in your category, but they provide a perspective on how valuable each relevant keyword is relevant to the rest of that list. So adding these keywords to your content increases your PDP's relevance to the algorithm, and they have a dramatic impact on your organic search rank scores. Now that's a key element there. Organic improvement is a key piece of our recommendation. There are lots of companies who have huge e-com ad budgets and are invested in this space, but their spends are largely ineffective because they don't understand organic rankings. And that's where our share of search dashboard provides a perspective that no one else in the industry is able to provide. From this page, you can quickly monitor on a daily basis 3 key highlights. 1, how many times do your products appear in the top 10 search results for the most important keywords in your category? 2, exactly which PDPs occupy the top 10 spots for those keywords? And 3, which of those spots are paid for through WMG sponsored search? And this ability to monitor and analyze paid search strategy of not just your products, but those of all your competitors is what separates average e-com suppliers from the most efficient and, from my perspective, the best. And that's what we're here to do, is to make you the best e-com supplier that your buyer has. So once we've provided the insights on which keywords matter and how to optimize them for both discoverability and great visibility, we provide the tools to optimize your PDPs for conversion and category share growth. Our rich media hosting capabilities include videos, 360-degree photography, rich media, enhanced content, and of course, the insights and recommendations on how to optimize all those elements for increased page traffic, page views, add to carts, and ultimately conversion. So let's hop into the tool and take a tour. So the first thing you'll see when you log into SKU Ninja is this daily dashboard. And this is a summary with widgets of every piece of information, every key piece of information that we have throughout the site. As Brooke mentioned, I have the pleasure of leading our insights team, and there are some different facets of this site that we really focus on for our recommendations. And the first one is Walmart Search Boost. So this is the first element that I talked about in the presentation. And this is an example of what the page would look like for a demo set of items. So if you're like this company, hopefully the majority of your products are 96 or above. I'd say 90 is generally like a good standard. If the majority of your products in your portfolio are 90% plus, then you're doing a great job. Your buyer's probably very happy with you. But everyone has that one item that's lagging. And in this case, this is a freshness guaranteed chocolate cake here. So if you click on that item, this is where we give you specific recommendations on how to improve that score. And the score is really made up of 2 things. One is, how well are you following Walmart's guidelines for content? And it's really the quality of content that they're analyzing here. So whether it's character count within your title or word count within your product description and key features, our tool is analyzing the quantity of your content, judging it against what guidelines Walmart has put in place for that, and then giving you access to our CMS to go in and directly fix those problems that are holding your quality score back. Now, this third issue down here at the bottom, hidden backend issues impacting your score, sounds really ominous, but really what it is as a CCP, we have access to the attributes that govern your item, that are attached to your item. And we've all been there. Your buyer emails you a spreadsheet to set up a new item on .com, and it's got 100 columns, and you're like, I don't know half of these. So you fill in the ones you know, you take your best guess at the ones you don't, and maybe leave about 1/3 of them blank. Well, all those attributes are in the back end of the system. They're attached to your product. And the algorithm is looking at that. And what those attributes do is help the algorithm understand what product type your product is, because that's what connects it to the relevance and connects it to the keyword and helps you optimize for greater visibility. So if you authorize us to do that fix, which I obviously highly recommend you do, our on-site CCP specialist will go in and fill out the majority really all of your back-end attributes to ensure that that part of your quality score is met. Now, the other points are through these, are you following Walmart's guidelines for quantity of content? So we'll do most of the heavy lifting, but then we'll make these recommendations and need you then to go, develop that content and make sure it's populated to your PDPs. So a really great tool. Again, just it has such an impact on the discoverability, the findability, and then obviously, the overall traffic that will be garnered by your pages. So the next thing we talked about was a priority keyword list. So here's an example of that. For this retailer PKL, we're talking about the category of cheesecake. And I'm pretty sure everyone could have guessed that the word cheesecake is important to the Cheesecake category, excuse me, not Cheesecake Factory. But what we don't understand is, what does that ranking look like, and what does number 2 through 16 look like compared to number 1? So the way to read something like this is, the term frozen cheesecake has 3.2% of the volume of the word cheesecake. So that tells us a little bit about how consumers are navigating your category. In this particular instance, they're entering the search results through a generic cheesecake term, and then through that search grid, they're finding the variant that they want, whether it's frozen, red velvet, turtle, so on and so forth. So that tells us, again, how the consumer is navigating that search sphere. In other categories, we see maybe it's a dominant keyword that, a dominant brand name that comes to the top of the keyword list. In other categories, maybe there's 2 or 3 or even 4 that are really, really close to the top of that list, and all have very significant volume. And our recommendations help you kind of understand which are the most important to win, and then how to go about doing that. I think from an e-com standpoint, one of the toughest things to do is focusing on what matters. There's a million things that you could do, but our tools really help you understand what are those top priorities to winning, and I think that's invaluable. So now that we know which keywords matter, we're going to tell you who is occupying the top 10 spots for those keywords. And this is really where the rubber hits the road. So again, same PKL from the other page, and just keeping in mind that cheesecake is the dominant term in this category. So what can we learn from this? We can see who are in the top 10 positions. And if you click on any one of these squares, you can find what PDP is in that number 1 spot. And that gives you kind of the blueprint to understand who is winning and how are they winning. What are some of the key elements of this PDP? Why is it optimized? Obviously, sales and popularity are going to drive items to the top of rankings, but what can we learn from this PDP that we can copy from ours and increase our search ranks based on what we know is popular and what the algorithm is prioritizing to the top of that list? So very, very important information there. The other thing, again, this is one of the most impactful things that we can help you with, and that involves a little bit deeper relationship. Our Search Sensei product is a great way to engage in some of these actionable recommendations and insights from our team. But all these $ show sponsored search. So that's an instance where the algorithm is going to spit out 1 through 10, but a supplier has paid to essentially inorganically boost their item throughout the ranking. And obviously that's an investment, and we want to make sure that that investment is spent as efficiently as possible. So for this keyword, turtle cheesecake, let's see who's sponsoring this. I was a little bit surprised to see a gelato item in there, but when you think about it, that really makes sense. How is if I'm a gelato manufacturer, how am I going to get increased visibility to my products, to my PDPs? One of the best ways to do it is to find these kind of complementary terms. So if someone was searching turtle cheesecake, they might be a little bit surprised to see gelato come up first in the rankings, but this supplier has identified that opportunity, and you know what, now I want gelato cheesecake ice cream. So I think it's a pretty efficient spend there. So I thought this is a really neat example. So that's the basis of the tools, the data that we have, and the recommendations that we can make to help you win. The fourth piece of the puzzle is to bring it all together with content. So we have a couple different instances here where you can monitor your content trends. You can look at what is published on Walmart.com versus what kind of content you're trying to push with the content comparison tool, and make sure those two are in sync. Obviously, you can manage your content through our CMS. And then rich media is that fourth piece of the puzzle that really boosts conversion. So we have, I think this is really cool, we have a rich media module editor built into our software. So this, I would consider this a best-in-class example of rich media. The imagery is great, the content is great, but again, our tool will allow you to edit this kind of on the fly. Whether you want a text, whether you want an image, whether you want text, whether you want a video, all of that. Again, this is a great example, but if you want to add more, you can add a section here, design how it looks, choose your text, choose your image, video. If they live on your computer, you can upload them to our site, and then you can push them directly to the website via our tool. So I think that's one of the most powerful vehicles that we can provide to you to not only identify what's most important, but then increase the conversion once you've optimized the pages and they're showing up in the right searches. So that's all for my demo. I'm going to pass it back to Brooke, and I believe we are going to have some time for questions.
Yes, we are. Can you make me the host?
Yes.
Thank you. That was a great presentation. And yes, it's lunch, and I want ice cream for lunch now too. So all right. Yes. So we did get some questions, and they're awesome questions. So the first question is about a success story. So kind of like, you know, how do we measure our success, and have what are some success stories we've had in the past?
A great question. And we have a case study for our elite subscription product type that has shown, you know, this is a summary of one of the best examples of success from a customer. So obviously you can save hours on your day by having that dashboard. You're not, you know, randomly pulling up web pages and writing down who's in what spot. You know, our tool is consolidating that information and giving it to you in an easy to digest fashion and easy to understand next step fashion. I think that's the key to all of this. We spoke before about kind of how easy it is to increase quality score. It's easy if, you know, if we're helping you, if we're able to help you fill in those back-end attributes and give you the recommendations. I'm sure a lot of us, I know, again, sitting on the supplier side, I didn't know what a quality score was, and I didn't know how many characters should be in your Walmart PDP title. So again, with our tools, that makes it really, really easy to increase those in a quick manner. Obviously, we talked about organic search rank. In this case study, the item was outside of the top 60, essentially undiscoverable. I mean, that's the bottom of the second page, and we know that, you know, removing clicks removing clicks is a great way to remove barriers to get your PDP viewed and then converted. So if you don't have to scroll the second page, then obviously your item is going to be much more popular. So in this case, we were able to increase this item's search rank from outside of the top 60 to inside the top 10. And again, that organic rank improvement is really the key to this. Anybody with a WMG ad budget can pay to elevate their product page to the top of a search list for a predefined amount of time. But ad budgets aren't limitless, and that organic increase is akin to, you know, taking an item from the bottom shelf of the modular and putting it right in that strike zone. So I mean, you can't really put a price on that. Traffic is the lifeblood of OGP and .com, and it's one of the key metrics that we analyze to understand how popular a product is, and then therefore how much the product is going to sell. And we were able to increase the PDP traffic to this page by over 300%. And then time on page, once we get them there, do they have the answers to the questions that are in their head? We have a product called Top Shopper Questions, and for your category, it tells you what your consumers are asking about this category. And what we know is that if a consumer has to leave that page to find the answer to the question in their head, they're going to buy it somewhere else. So your PDPs better have all that information there to answer the questions so that they can convert right there on the page that they're on. Time on page going up means they're reading that information, they're getting their answers to the questions from your PDPs, and then, you know, conversion's going to increase. So that's the name of the game. You know, ultimately we are driving to increase sales, increase category share, but ultimately that's the byproduct of all these other metrics that we've identified as underlying key metrics that, again, traditional brick and mortar suppliers probably aren't terribly focused on or aren't familiar with. So we've identified that, again, the causal factors that lead to increased sales, and that's what we're really focused on. So this was a great success for this customer, and I'm very confident that we can repeat it for each one of you if we engage in the right way.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. Another question we got is, what is the difference between your SKU Ninja Walmart Search Boost score and like the scores you get from your merchants, the actual Walmart content quality score? Is there a difference?
No, it should be one and the same. I haven't seen an instance of a supplier getting something from Walmart that isn't represented by the scores in our Search Boost product. That information actually is coming directly from Walmart. So if your buyer is sending you a score that is different from what we have on our website, I hate to say it, but they're probably wrong in that case, because again, ours is a direct feed from from the algorithm that derives and then produces those quality scores.
Awesome. Well, great. Thank you so much. All right. We have some more questions. There's so many. Once I have my keywords, so once you get your prioritized keyword list, what do you do next?
That's a great question. The easiest way to have a really quick, dramatic jump in search results is to take those keywords and make sure they're in your title. We were working with one supplier, and the difference, so their titles had the word pills in them. They're obviously selling pills in a bottle, and to a marketer deriving, coming up with that title in the first place, pills seems like a perfectly adequate way to describe the product. What we realized through our PKLs and our ability to understand how volume is flowing through the search box, we understood that people are searching for medicine, not for pills. That's the term that went into that search box. And just swapping that one word into their title, it produced on average a 30-spot organic rank increase overnight. So again, you can't really put a price on that. The investment is only coming through our software and our recommendations. You don't have to continuously pay for that boost. It is going to stay organically ranked at a higher position when you understand how to optimize those keywords. Obviously, the title is the most important. It's the most heavily weighted from an algorithm standpoint. But key features and product description, having many instances of those keywords in your content throughout key features and descriptions is also a great way to increase organic search rank.
Awesome. This is great stuff. All right. I think we have a few more questions. And so, so if I'm not showing up in the share of search, so as one of the brands, how do I get into the top 10?
Ooh, that's a good question. There are a lot of factors that determine how you can grow your search rank. Driving traffic to your page is one of them. Obviously, that can be done through external sources. Optimizing your content, making your PDP more relevant to the algorithm for that particular keyword is another way to do it. And then, the top 10 is incredibly important, but there's also, it can be thousands of search results. So what I will say is our Elite subscription gives you a snapshot of that top 10. And again, kind of another way to go a little bit deeper with that is engaging with us in what we call the Search Sensei process. And that's another level of subscription that gives you access to the top 128 128 total positions for every keyword. That's data that we're collecting in the back end of the site, and that me and my team are able to use to go a little bit deeper to help you understand, okay, if you're not in the top 10, exactly where you are. And we can also track that over time. So while it's great to have a snapshot of the top 10 on a daily basis, it is also very helpful to provide perspective on where you were yesterday or the week before, and kind of how that changes over time. So again, that's a great, if your company is ready to engage with us in a very deep level in a process like that, then we can make many more recommendations with that vast database of data that we have from the search rank standpoint.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. I think this is going to be our last question. And it's just kind of about rich media, kind of how, does it really increase time on page, or is it really that helpful to have a lot of rich media on the page?
It is. And here at White Spider SKU Ninja, we talk a lot about the robots and the humans. And what that means, the robot is the search algorithm, and it is behaving in a very scientific, straightforward manner. The humans are the shoppers, and we know shoppers are fickle, and there's a lot of different types of shoppers, but what we're trying to do with rich media is twofold. It's appealing to both the robots and the humans, and that's the one kind of element that it is able to do both. It appeals to the robot or the search algorithm because it is scanning each PDP for instances of rich media, and there is a direct correlation between how much rich media you have and the relevance score in the algorithm, and that is going to directly lead to increased search rank position. And then obviously, the humans are drawn towards sometimes flashy objects or more information or better pictures or lifestyle imagery, recipes, documents, all this great stuff that keeps them interested, boosts time on page, brings them back to the PDP. It makes them think about it after they've left if they didn't convert that time. So yeah, rich media is really the one that hits both the sweet spot of the robots and the humans, where it appeals to the algorithm and it helps your shoppers stay engaged and ultimately convert more often.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And again, us here at SKU Ninja plus White Spider, we always focus on being really efficient. And we've been so efficient today in this webinar that we're going to give you 30 minutes of your life back. But first, one thing we want to do is we did some polls. So this helps us be better and answer questions that you guys are really having. So if you guys can take this quick poll, we'll get out of here and go get lunch, because I am really hungry, and I definitely want that ice cream now. Like, oh. So, but thank you so much, Ryan. This has been a lot. This has been great stuff.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Brooke. Like I said, the e-com landscape was foreign to me as an in-store supplier, and there's a lot to learn. Like I said, there's an ocean of data out there. There's brand new metrics that nobody's really educated you on, or at least I wasn't educated on what they mean and how to influence them. But they're equally as important as dollar sales and unit sales and profit margin and velocity in store. But it's really been an eye opener for me to be on this side, and I obviously enjoy it. I'm passionate about it, and I hope to help each and every one of you along that journey.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, we're just gonna give you guys a little bit more time to answer the polls. Thank you very much. Yeah, one of the questions, we always try to put something fun in our poll questions, and so this one, is it happy hour yet? And so it is not, but not here in Northwest Arkansas, but soon. I'm definitely gonna have to eat something first, because obviously I'm hungry. But yeah, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it.
And if any of you have further questions for me or for my team, happy to engage over email, schedule a quick Zoom call. Getting really proficient at that from the work from home side. But then if there's any interest, if you think your company is the right candidate for Search Sensei and more of a collaborative custom recommendation process with a little bit deeper access to the data, then we're always looking to grow that part of our business, because that's when we can really develop that partnership and accelerate your results much faster. So looking forward to that.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. We will end the poll now. And yeah, thank you guys. This has been awesome, and enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend.